looking at these UNC odds, they started out the year at plus 600. No, they started off at plus 1,100. Now they're plus 600.
Simply because they put 60 on Virginia.
Yeah, so it means a lot to smoke Virginia. Do you like their odds right now?
Is that to win the ACC or the title?
To win the ACC.
I would definitely take a shot with them. You look at what Clemson is, guys. I mean, it is not great. And like going through the numbers, and when you really look at it, find me the offensive linemen that have been drafted under Dabo.
Yeah.
There might be two, I think. Like I mean, you guys are obviously sick of it if people outside the ACC are sick of seeing Clemson at the top, but it's pretty obvious what he's done and, been blessed to have great quarterback play. And now the quarterback play is it step back and those 5-star skill guys aren't getting the touches that they're normally getting. And now you got a whole mess. They can't move the ball. The rushing numbers. And then I went back and looked at last year when I started thinking about the offensive line and seeing them get beat up. And then you see how many times they had to throw the ball to Etienne to get him the ball, to get him involved. It's pretty eye-opening, man. I'm really, really, really interested in their road game at NC State this week. I mean, I know when NC State's not any world beaters, but the place is going to be jam-packed.
Yeah, low-key tough place.
That big dude's going to be waving on the pole, from that Thursday night game a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It'll be a crazy environment. So, I mean, their D is stacked. Don't get me wrong. That dude, Brazee, he's from right around here in DMV. He's a baller.
I was talking about this as a perfect segue because Clemson, to me, this is a perfect year to show the difference between Bama and Clemson. I think for a while there, because you inherit two otherworldly quarterbacks and there's just like kind of this comfort there, you don't have to worry about the other dudes on the team. You don't have to worry about depth so much. You also play in the ACC. So I guess I'm wondering, is Clemson like here to stay, or does this show that they're not like, they might be here for a while, gone for a while when it comes to being like true national title contenders?
I think they're here to stay as far as what Dabo's done recruiting. But goes back to the point I was making at the beginning of the season when I felt like this was a year for teams to get through that haven't been there. And Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, all top quarterback draft picks. This is the year to get them because guess those guys are coming back next year. And this is the time, Bryce Young, unbelievable effort last week in Gainesville. It's his third game he's ever started. And I'm getting a lot of heat because I don't really like Penn State. And I said the atmosphere in Gainesville was better than the whiteout last week. So
they don't like that. They're very proud.
They don't.
Happy Valley is a very proud place. You can
they
just
do
tell.
not like that.
But you just said it. Like, the kid down at Bama and DJ had spot starts last year and both looked good. And then one of them has taken it to the next year. And I'm wondering if that's like coaching, if that's development, if it's just the players around them. You talk about the offensive line. Like I can name two guys that got drafted this year for Bama in Leatherwood and Dickerson. So like to your point, the delta between those two teams, it might have looked less because of those two great quarterbacks they had. Well, Bama, every quarterback, it's like one after the other, performs at a high level.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you talk about what, up front, and I think that's Nick's biggest thing. You got Bill O'Brien coming in, who's obviously had plenty of experience calling plays. And the biggest issue for them, you had to protect the quarterback because they don't have a guy behind him that has one snap of experience. And then with Clemson, it's just mind-boggling to me because there's a couple things. I do think Uiagalelei was shell-shocked against Georgia. Yeah. That D-line rocked them. Yeah. And a lot of expectations, and you come out and ball out in those two games and set a record for a visiting team in South Bend last year. I mean, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. I mean, look at the guy. I mean, they still got 6'4", 6'5" guys. They don't have the slot receiver this year, like, third and Renfro or even Amari Rodgers last year, who had a great year for them. So I think that's one of the things they're trying to find also offensively. But it was pretty funny last week because I had to ask myself, like, all right, there was a weather delay at Clemson, but is Dabo, is he wet or is he just really sweating because he has to coach in the fourth quarter?
Yeah,
I had to look at that.
It's
it was
a little different
seeing Dabo a little riled up in the fourth quarter.
So where do they finish in the SEC if they were in the SEC? Because we always talk about them as this like SEC team, and I'm kind of wondering, like the best way to put it into perspective is if Clemson led by Uiagalelei,
nice,
is down there in the big show. Who do they finish behind?
I think definitely behind Georgia, definitely behind Clemson. We saw them lose definitely behind Alabama.
Yeah.
There's a couple wild cards I still need to see more from. I was really impressed with Florida last week and what they did to Alabama, knowing the experience and talent that Alabama has on defense and running speed option and getting guys' responsibilities all messed up. Alabama looked really bad defensively, Chris. Like even on like up front, their twists, their guys running into each other. Blitzes, guys running into their teammates. Like you don't see that from a Nick Saban defense.
No.
Like I can't imagine what that film session was like this week. So you got Florida, who's a wild card. I probably would take them because of recency bias, what I saw them against Clemson. Ole Miss is another wild card.
Yeah, that'd be a barn burner.
Incredible. And their defense has stepped up. I mean, I think a lot has to do with an effort level to start there.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss is pretty good. LSU's got guys all over the place. Can Coach O, organize things? I don't know. So I would say, I mean, A&M's got the best D-line maybe in the country besides Georgia. So I would say Clemson's 10th. Probably 5th, 6th.
Who do I need to watch? Who do I need to watch at A&M up front?
Leal, the D lineman. He's phenomenal.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, watch that game this weekend. Arkansas, they're going to play 3 down guys. They get after it. It's very interesting, that matchup this week, because you're gonna like that one, Chris. There's gonna be a lot of defensive front 7 talent in that game.
Speaking of the Coughlin Award, the non-Heisman Heisman Trophy award winner gets the Coughlin. You might not remember this, Steve, because you gave out Illinois plus 10 and then left the podcast for a week. But this is a running segment we do.
Yep.
Is that the kid we're looking at this week? Is there somebody else? Who tops the standings there for the Coughlin?
Yeah, who do we have to watch that's not going to be a Heisman Trophy hopeful?
Ooh. Well, Friday night is a big spot. I actually like Syracuse at home against
Brennan
Liberty.
Armstrong.
Brennan Armstrong.
Good. Quarterback's not really a Coughlin award.
But best quarterback in the ACC. They'll never give him a Heisman.
True.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
He's not buying it. He's a Sam Howell guy.
Michael Mayer. I like Mayer. I like Howell.
Okay.
I do have Howell way ahead of Spencer Rattler. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not hearing great things about Spencer Rattler.
I don't like what I've seen there. I mean, in the comparison, and it's what we do now, right? Like he comes in after Baker, after Jalen Hurts, after Kyler, and that's just not fair to him. But he's the quarterback of Oklahoma, and now he's got time. He got his time to shine. He just hasn't.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line has a lot to do with it because their skill guys are serious. Notre Dame tight end Michael Mayer this week against Wisconsin. They're an underdog. I'm not sure they should be this big of an underdog. It's a weird matchup because we know, both teams have been known for their offensive line. But when you look at Notre Dame, they're down there at their 3rd left tackle. And that's a problem against Wisconsin, who's obviously led by Jim Leonard, who's an awesome DC. So I like Notre Dame. I trust the quarterback, Cone.
Yeah.
But I don't trust their O-line. And on Wisconsin side, I trust their O-line more, but I don't trust their quarterback, Mertz. So I think it's like an under game. I think that game and the A&M game, I like the unders.
Yeah, there we go. Cowboy Reed's on the under in the Notre Dame-Wisconsin game. He gave me a stat that said the last 5 times that Notre Dame played at a neutral site, they were under. So that's gonna be my lock of the week. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. How do you feel about 2 biggest games in college football this week being in NFL stadiums?
Well, that was what we were going to ask you. We hate neutral sites. It feels like the fucking New Era Bowl is happening in like October. Is it October yet? It's September still. Yeah. We just had Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. Listen. I don't like it. You have the best gift that college football gives us is the energy. It's the crowd. It's the pageantry. It's the fucking tailgating. And then you put a game like this in albeit a very beautiful pro stadium, relatively speaking. At least it's not like the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, like a big concrete block. There's some history here, but it's still neutral.
And it really sucks because the 4 teams involved in these games have I think maybe they were all drafted besides Arkansas in our stadium draft.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, it's,
who else is neutral this week?
Notre Dame and Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's who we're talking about. But other than that,
so A&M and Arkansas are playing at Jerry World.
Oh, I hate that. There's nothing I hate more than a game at Jerry World in college, bro. And it's always two red teams, dude. Mm-hmm. Two red teams that don't have the same color red. Two red teams indoor. I just want to throw my TV out the window, especially Jerry World.
Do you have the same color red in the top of your mullet as the back of the mullet?
I don't have any red in my mullet. What color is my hair?
You're that's a dirty blonde.
I'm a dirty blonde, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Manufacture sideburns is what we do. Manufacture is the word I was searching for, not manifest.
Did you just text your wife and ask her?
No, I know.
Okay.
Manufacture. It's not.
Okay.
Lori is my hairdresser, Steve. So Lori and I come up with the plan, and we manufacture the sideburns. Way better than the sideburns that Dabo cuts off above his ears. That's the stupidest.
I feel like Dana's Nick Saban and she's working with 5-star recruits here. And you're fucking, I don't know.
I think Lori is also Nick Saban for sure working with a 3-star recruit.
No, you're not. No, your sideburns are like 1 star. Your sideburns have like shadow pictures on rivals.com. No offense.
All I know is I would be really
There's a lot of things you're better than me at. There's a lot of things like you got certain better features than me, but sideburns is not one, dude. Sorry.
I would be really offended if I was a hairdresser and my client wore a hat 24/7.
Yeah, that's weird. You see
on
me
a podcast.
I don't know.
Hey,
these cameras, they put my peaks back at the top of my head.
Is there a neutral site that we actually like?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, if you're playing the Rose Bowl,
maybe Raiders Stadium in Vegas now.
Yeah, it could be interesting if you want all your players to get suspended before the game.
I'm not thinking of the players. I'm thinking of the fans going to the game.
So what if I told you that the Wyoming Cowboys were 30-point favorites on the road?
Oh, because the team they're playing is bad.
At another college football team.
No,
who is
UConn Huskies. Yeah, UConn hasn't won a game in
They lost to Holy Cross.
Holy Cross.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Steve, you laying the points? What are you doing?
I think you have to. UConn's as bad as there is. I mean, they got a game with Yale coming up that I thought they would win. Their season win total was like 2. I thought it would go over because I thought they could beat Yale and Holy Cross, and that ain't happening. It's not going over now. It's really, really bad. I mean, I asked my buddies, they're UConn season ticket holders. It's just 3:30 game. I asked Scott wanted to know what the crowd would be like at the rent. And my buddy says less than 1,000.
Wow. Yes. Looks like Maryland 30 minutes before the game up there. They call that the turtle shell. When did they start branding that as the turtle shell? Shut up, dude.
Never heard
No one cares about that stadium. No one.
My college pick has to do with Maryland this week.
Most likely game I'm not going to watch, whoever they play. Who are they playing?
Kent State.
Oh, fuck no. No chance.
What's the pick?
It's like 1,500 people at that
Here's the scenario. Your guy's favorite fan base, the Maryland Terrapins up here. There's actually people talking and gathering now because next week,
sounds like a terror cell is what this sounds like.
Friday night, they have top 5 Iowa coming in. And like people are actually talking about going to tailgates up here.
Wow.
So I think they're getting a little ahead of themselves. And I think Kent State covers the 14.5 at Maryland. Kent State's had to go to College Station and they've had to go to Iowa 2 of the first 3 weeks. They rushed for over 250 yards against A&M. They hung around for a half. They hung around for a half against another top 5 defense, I think, in Iowa. Maryland doesn't have a top 5 defense. I think Kent State gives them fits. And I think Maryland wins a close game.
Oh, that's
so I'll
nothing.
take the 14.5.
The turtle shell is nothing. I'm betting Kent State. Thank you, gambling dad. I will be betting Kent State with my heart and my wallet and my brain. Do you have a lock of the week here before we run you through the FCS odds? Because this slate is so cheeks to us this Saturday.
Kent State is the pick.
Okay, that's the lock.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about FCS odds because, people are into that. South Dakota State, JMU, North Dakota State, Montana, Sam Houston, Southern Illinois, Montana State, Eastern Washington, Delaware, Jacksonville State. Can you tell us anything about any of these schools? Obviously, South Dakota State, most likely.
Jackrabbits.
You like the Jackrabbits.
Yeah. JMU's got a good program, too. It's crazy because they don't really ever play each other. Obviously, you see the geographical separation at the FCS level, which is what we need at the FBS level.
Yeah.
So South Dakota State's pretty darn good. I like them. They won it last year.
What is the nickname of
plus 380
Sam Houston State?
Oh, I know the Bearcats.
There you go. With a C or a K?
K.
That's right.
You asked him.
That's right. He's right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. No. FCS championship odds. You got South Dakota State plus 380 there. JMU's plus 400. Cowboy Reed and Taylor back there. Two Dukes back here. Dukes.
Yeah. Y'all got the scoots, huh?
Got the perpetual scoots. Hey, they're also though they have beaten Tech a lot. It feels like, and that's something we haven't been able to do.
They've been ducking us.
Tech's been ducking JMU. I feel like probably I would if I were Tech. And by the way, my lock of the week is going to be the under in the Cone Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you have a lock of the week?
I sure do.
You feel like you're skirting that lock of the week?
I sure do have a lock of the week.
We'll let you get to us in the pro segment. You can catch up.
Hey. I'll stay there. I'll stay right there. Notre Dame plus 6.5.
Oh my God.
21-16 final score.
Get your own game. Get off my corner.
Okay, Virginia Wake Forest over. There you go.
All right.
Free.